fire. Boom. Doom. Is that the best angle though, is the question. Probably not, because I'm left-handed. Unless I paint up at this side and I move you guys, which is an option that we have. That can go right there, right there, right there. I'll just swipe that to there, bring you guys over to here. Boom, 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 bing. There we go. I think that's where I want you. I think. Oh, almost, guys. Sorry to bustle you around a little bit. How's that positioning? How's our lighting? How's all the things? It's not half bad. I think we can work with that. Can we work with that? I can work with this. Can you guys work with that? I'm going to say yes. Hello, Victoria. I hope you're looking after yourself. Good to see you again. Yes, this old chestnut. Good painting, this one. We're just going to keep building it up. Build me up. Harold, I have been gone for a little while. I have been, but look, I disappeared because of hay fever. I'm back now. Thanks, mate. It is a very, very hot day, so I found myself a little bit of shade. Sorry if it distorts a little bit, but I just wanted a little bit of a tree. What's my all-time favourite painting? All-time favourite painting? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not quite sure. Do you go classic? Starry, starry night. Paint your palette blue and grey. Look out on a sunny day. With eyes that watch the world and can't forget. Strangers that we've met. No, it wouldn't be Starry, Starry Night. What would it be? I don't know. I liked art for a bunch of different reasons. How long were you live yesterday? KHY. How long was I live yesterday? Who knows? Was it 4 hours? 3 hours and a half? I forget exactly where we ended up landing. Somewhere. Do. Paint your palette blue and grey. Yeah, I think our position's pretty good, guys. Now, from your position, you'll see the light hits the face in an interesting way. So the bold lines you see here are bold for you guys, but they're not as bold for me. From a front-on position without the light catching it, it appears differently. G'day, Johnny. Welcome from Ireland. Yes, you will be getting close to going to bed at this time. But it is a pleasure to have you joining me here. Thanks, Jen. I actually found out where Lucy's been. She is on a stream somewhere else doing, I think it's like relationship advice. So I popped on briefly and gave her a little crown and then ran off to do this. But yeah, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. She's too cool for this little stream now. We lost a good moderator team. Good moderator and a great person. There we go. There we go. All right. Paintbrush. Here we are. We have got paint on a tray. We've got a painting. This is going to be fun. Jason, I've been good. Lucy will come back. She's just been busy, that's all. Thanks, Jason. I'm actually getting really happy with this one. We're slowly building out. I'm happy with all the paintings that leave this wild little studio, but as we build this one out more and more, it's getting some really fun depth captured in it. I got you, baby. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Hope you're looking after yourself, David. Happy New Year. Welcome in to 2023. Man, it's exciting, guys. My boxes have just arrived for these paintings to be shipped, which is really exciting. Now I'm just chucking on the last few coats to build them out. This one here, I'm putting on extra paint beyond what I thought. So I'm just not perfectly stoked with it. Like I say, guys, the rule with these commissions, the rule with any commission you make, but my personal rule that I make for myself, is bring it to a stage where you think, I want to keep it. I want it to be mine. And when you get to that stage, then it's ready to leave the workshop. And this one is getting closer and closer to the stage where actually I want it. And a few more coats and it will be there. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, so you'll notice here as well, Johnny and everyone else, we're bending it more and more and more towards making it that colour palette of purples, blues, pinks. Now, and sorry guys, is my voice very clear at the moment? G'day, Ray. Or do I need to get that little headset piece? Yeah, no snow here in New Zealand. In fact, the only mountain we have. Great. Thanks, George. Well, if the sound of the wind gets too much, guys, just let me know and I can go grab that. In fact, I think I'll grab it anyway, because when I was doing a reel before, the wind was really strong. So, you sound crystal clear? Okay, I'll leave it. But if it gets chronic, you let me know, because we do have solutions for that sort of stuff. Good. And thanks for the roses, guys. Appreciate it. So this new year, I've been outside all day today, doing some work, little things around the house, and then you may have noticed we posted a reel for the first time in forever. I'm so sorry for disappearing on you, but a reel went up today. It's not my finest because I didn't have a whole lot of time to edit it because I wanted to get on here with you guys, but it reckons, TikTok reckons that live streaming goes better if you post a reel. So I posted a reel. Sounds awesome with the tree in the background. Sweet. Well, that's a very sweet thing to say, but I belong to someone else. And she does let me leave the house, which is lovely of her, being that I do have a life to live. Ain't got chance, ain't got time. I got you, baby. Da 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 da. If I had you, I wouldn't let you leave the house, you reckon? One thing you gotta know about that, guys, I think we get the idea of love and relationships round the wrong way. That is to say that we get the idea of thinking, I want someone to belong to me. And I don't think that's the correct thought. I think we should always be aspiring to think, I want to belong to someone. Coming up from the other direction. Because that also puts a responsibility on you. So, that's what I reckon. Thanks, Yummy Bo. Appreciate that. People are not possessions. True. That's 100% correct. Life is all about relationships that are built with each other. Yeah. The best way I've heard it put is in a relationship, the best kind of relationship is 60% and 40%. Where both people are fighting to be the 60%. That's where you want to be. I mean, I say fighting, I mean, getting along. You know what I mean. Sweet how you say my name. Yummy Boo. If I can pronounce the name, I'll normally try to say it, but no promises, guys. Hi, Justin. Long time no see. Justin, I think I've seen you in 2023. But I've disappeared for the last while. Hey, Beaver. Sorry, mate. But I'm back now. And this painting's reaching its final stages, so you'll be able to make out the subject, but... G'day, mate. How are we doing?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. So, you'll be able to make out the subject, but it'll still have this abstract, wild nature to the paint. That's where we want it to be. The more we add paint, the more we run the risk of losing that wild creativity in the paint and getting caught up in too much realism. We don't want too much realism. We'll go for fun over realism any day, guys, because you'll still be able to see the subject if you know what you're looking for. And so we'll sacrifice realism in order to have more fun with the paint. Thanks, Vita. Appreciate that. I love it when people use mate. I wish they would use it in the USA. Yeah. So mate's probably a pretty big word over here in New Zealand. We use it a lot. Some people love it, some people don't love it. My father doesn't like being called mate by strangers. I don't mind it. Unless you're having a hefty talk to someone, and they're like, well, listen, mate. And you're like, oh, is that where we're at? All right, go on. That doesn't happen often. Trina Bachelor, hello. And it is coming together, Justin. I am absolutely loving where this painting's going. It needs all the attention we can give it. In this background, we want to build out this background. We want to explode out. Explode. With lots of energy. Creativity. Thanks, Trina. Appreciate that. Lol, nice. I'm not sure what that's in regard to, but Lady Berry, when did you start your art journey? I think we're all on our own art journey at all given times, whether it be developing our taste in art or whether it be developing our craft. I think art journeys, it's interesting because it's sort of like, when do you start a story? Do you start from the very beginning? I think you sort of need to start from 2 years old if you're going to capture the whole thing. So it starts from that early age. Usually there's a mother involved who inspires a creative son. If that happens later in life, usually it's friends, peers, companions who push you towards a creative side of yourself. There's a million different ways it can happen. For me, it was a young age. It was my mother who pushed me into art. It's bringing me to where I am with you guys right now. I see a comment about acrylic paint. I just missed it. How do you decide between using oil and acrylic paint? So we're outside, so we could be using oils today, but I'm using acrylics because it's easy to have them applied thicker and still have an element of transparency to them. I want thick paint that's also transparent because I want the texture of the paint while also retaining I want thick texture but also transparency. Now, oils can do that, but there's more of a trade-off than there is with acrylics. So in this case, I'm using acrylics outside, but I have the option, of using acrylics, the oils, since we're outside. Sorry for slurring my words a million times there, but we got there. So jealous of the weather here. Yeah, we are lucky here in New Zealand, but winter's coming for us too, eventually. Don't you worry about that. We just learned acrylics were inside. You did. So acrylics inside, oils outside. But think of that more as, I think a better way to put that probably is to say, don't do oils inside if you can help it. Oh no, Marlo, you got muted yesterday. That's not good. Well, you probably said something rude. You can always have fun here on the stream, guys, but we want to make sure everyone feels welcome. That's a big important thing here. I'm here with the goal of sharing this craft with you guys and with the hope of making someone's day better in whatever fashion that might take. So I think it's pretty cool that technology allows us to connect like this. What am I trying to say? It has not ceased to stop amazing me how amazing it is that we can connect live all over the world and share something like painting with everyone in long format videos like this. I think it's incredible. I love every part of it. And maybe owning a giant painting in your house isn't your vibe, but you can still be a part of the process of those paintings being made, and I think that's something really special. So you may not think so, and that's okay, but I do. Are you in South Africa? No, this is New Zealand. New Zealand. I'm not sure how you say that in Afrikaans. It's probably still just New Zealand. I'm probably overthinking it. New Zealand. There we go. Your visit, fantastic. Does wind blow particles in the work? So it can blow pollen at the work. If you're doing really, really specific up close with a magnifying glass painting, you might notice that pollen touches your work. With the surface of this painting is very, very sleek. It's got a lot of liquid glass on it. and I've got a fresh paint tray here, and we're under some shelter, so it's unlikely we'll face a lot of issues with the weather or pollen being around. In short, no but yes, but not really. Sorry, that's not more helpful. If you are doing a really specific painting where you care about every, like when you're actually watching how many hairs are in the brush, when you're doing that, perhaps you want to be careful about being outside. But if the smallest brush you go to is about a third of that, then you'll be fine. Do you have plans on selling prints? Yes, yes I do. Let me get these paintings out of the studio, because they're commissioned, so we won't be doing prints of these ones. Am I allowed to do that? I don't know, I need to check. But we will be doing prints. We will be. I think I've had a few people request prints via the Instagram page, and I'm sorry for not leaping on it faster. We've been hardened to lives and hardened to painting that we missed a few things. And that's on me. The rain boot shorts combo is phenomenal. Thank you. The rain, I think you mean, it's probably auto-corrected you from gumboot. The gumboots are a common accessory here in New Zealand. They're easy to slip on. You can put them on without socks, which is handy. They've got a big open space at the top, so they won't overheat your feet. It's basically all beer and Skittles with the perks on gumboots. Oh, you're arting again. I am arting again. Your work is colourful. Oh, thanks, Lauren. Appreciate that. Entertainment and a show. Is that Evelyn? Oh, no. Elalaru. I can't quite say that name. Yeah, it should be all the things here, guys. This is New Zealand. I'm currently painting in the Bay of Plenty. Usually I'm up in Auckland, but now we're in the Bay of Plenty. If you do want to connect more, guys, you know the drill. In the bio, there's Instagram, among other things. Of course I want to connect with you on Instagram. Of course I want to connect on YouTube. Of course you can reach out via the website, and of course there's an email there too. Oh well, if you are going to wear gumboots, you want red band gumboots. They're the classics. They look like this. They're called red bands because they've got a red band. How wild. I've said it before, but it's oh, thanks guys. Yeah, the suit's coming together with more and more layers. I want to have it, yeah, I'm liking where it's at, but I'm going to keep adding a little bit more to it, but it's in a very good place. The wedding dress is starting to get more detail. The only thing it's lacking right now is a bit of continuity. So what do you mean continuity? I mean, I want the whole thing to bounce off the surface of the that we're painting, but I want it to do it in unison, not with a top piece and a bottom piece, a veil and a thing. I want them all to be more succinct. I didn't say that very well, but hopefully you understood what I mean. Who knows? Whatever happened to the printed leather bag request? Painted leather bag request? I had a Zoom chat with that guy. We chatted on Zoom. Or, no, it was some messaging service, and we had a good yak about it. And he wanted something quite out there on his bag, like same sort of thing Kim Kardashian was after. So I said, yep, we can do that. And then he was going to get back to me with his schedule. And he has not yet. So I don't think that's going to go ahead. But that's all right. To be honest, I wasn't too overly enthusiastic about leaving my usual 2D surfaces. It can be done, and it can be really fun. But the reason why I like sticking to these surfaces is because when you change surface, there's a huge amount of training that goes into it. And so what do you mean training? I mean, if you swap to a leather surface, you have to train yourself to understand all the qualities of that leather. How the humidity affects it, how heat affects it, how, all the things. You can't just attack a surface and just hope it's going to turn out okay. Especially not when you get one chance. That's a no-go. Thanks, guys. Jack from New York City, welcome back to the stream. Good to have you here. And Jack, thank you for the early birthday wishes. I'm sorry I haven't replied yet. I've been snowed in a little bit, not literally, figuratively. I ain't got cash, ain't got dash, I got you, baby. Ba-da-ba-da-da-do, la-da-dee. I ain't got cash, ain't got dash, I got you, baby. Ba-ba-ba-boom-boom. What are you currently painting on? Canvas or board? Jason, this is board. But it's interesting, and we'll have to see, because as we get thicker and thicker with the paint we add, board becomes less and less palatable. Sorry, not palatable. Board becomes less and less reliable in terms of its volume will increase so much that I'll need to put a far thicker frame on it than I planned. But that's okay. When the boxes arrive, because I scale the boxes to the sides of the board plus the frame, when the boxes arrive, I'll see what I can do in regards to the frame and make a proper decision from there. It may mean that I can't put my standard frame on it, which will mean that I'll have my framer put a different size on it. But we don't know yet. It's all part of the fun. I'll know when Shelby comes down with the boards and the final coat goes on this, so I know how thick this is going to be. Because the artwork needs to be tight in the box, guys. It doesn't want to be flapping around, so you get the boxes far more to scale. How you decide what to paint on? Does a client pick? It chops and changes, Jason. If it's going overseas, I'm usually painting on board. If it's staying local, it's usually going on canvas. What's the difference between the two? Actually, not much. If I was to choose a favourite, it would be board, only because the board's more solid. So when you're painting on it, it holds its ground to your brush strokes better. I don't like having a surface that moves away from me, guys. Heck, if you could even have a board that pushed back, even better. You need a hard surface to paint against. That's really, really important. There we go. Beautiful. One paint strip at a time. What's the fastest deadline you've had for a painting? Jason, the fastest deadline I've had was basically 24 hours. But we don't want to do it that fast. We want to build up the layers, because layers create depth. And so if we get the opportunity, we want to spread these paintings out over weeks and months to create that depth of field inside the painting. But if we don't get that long, we can do singular coats, which are special in their own way, guys. It's much more instantaneous. There's an undoubtable expression captured in it. What's the furthest you've gotten a piece and had to start over? Ooh, Brittany. I've spent upwards of 30 hours on pieces and had them not come together. That's okay. That's okay. You've heard me say it before, guys. I'll say it again. Painting, just like a lot of artistic ventures, is not a linear process. It takes twists and it takes turns. Sometimes you'll put in 3 times as much effort and go backwards twice as fast, and that's okay. When do you decide when it's done? You've heard me say this before if you're here regularly. I say it's done when the so 2 ways: commission or regular painting. You know it's finished when just keep the art you've made. Then you've reached the stage where that painting is finished. And that's sort of the tragedy with painting, because if you are making beautiful work that you love, to make money as a painter and to survive, to eat and feed yourself and those you love, you have to part with the art. But if you had an endless supply of money flowing out of all directions, you wouldn't sell the art because you'd love every piece. I mean, unless some good was going to come from that. But that's where I sort of feel about it. Don't let it leave the studio until you personally love it. What hobbies do you have other than painting, Jason? Good question. Look, painting takes up a lot of my time, but when I'm not painting, I like to hang out with friends. I like to hang out with my best friend's daughter. She's about to turn 1, and that's a fantastic way to spend my time. I like to go do some exercise, whatever form that may take. I like to, partial to a bit of rock climbing actually, that's pretty fun. And I like to, what else do I like to do? Don't mind doing a bit of cooking every now and again. Don't mind going on a wee bit of an adventure, wherever that may be. All those things. Big fan. What do you call that kind of painting? That's a great question. This is Impressionism, so we're not too focused on creating a perfect rendition of the subject. With Realism, we're more focused on creating the most accurate impression of what we're looking at. So when you look at this picture, you should see a huge amount of overflowing love and energy radiating out of them, and energy exploding out of them. If we've got that, then that's good Impressionism. That's what we're after. Thank you very much, Gabe. I appreciate that. But that's why we're here streaming it, so you can be a part of it. A little bits on in here. Ain't got cash. I got you, baby. go. I've learned something new today. That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear it. There you go, Jess. There you go. I got you, baby. Bound, blinded by the light, running in the light, blinded by the light. Do you put your own art in your home? What kind of paintings do you have in your home? Jason, I do. So this house is loaded with paintings. Absolutely loaded with them. A lot of them are really, really big. So I love big paintings, but I don't. They're not easy to send places. So there's that. And the house has pretty high ceilings, so that's dual benefit, no doubt. Some of them are really, really small. Sometimes I like a really, really small piece. Not all the time, but sometimes. Could you imagine a fly just sticks on the painting? Sometimes it happens, but usually self-preservation on the fly's part means that it won't land on a wet surface that it can't get off most of the time. Sometimes if you leave a painting wet in the studio with the door open, sometimes a fly might land on it. But usually you're alright. What's my Instagram? That's a great question. You can find that on that'll be on in the bio. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, leave in my bio, say hello. You can also find YouTube and YouTube, the website, and Instagram. All three. Do you make paintings to yourself? Gab, not all the time. But, ooh. Paint my eye, I think. Sometimes I'll paint things that are paintings for me or for my family, and so they won't often see anything outside of this house. And I like that. Not all art has to go public and get seen by everyone. Sometimes it's special to have it hidden with a sense of mystique. Something you never thought about it, but at least it's one less fly. I suppose it is. No, but it hasn't happened to me yet. So, I don't know whether that decreases future likelihood or increases it, but here we are. Cool. There we go. Where am I from? This is New Zealand. Cheers, Jason. Sometimes I do this for the birthday and Christmas gifts, but a lot of the time, for friends and family, I'll give them away when they're finished. So, usually I can't wait for Christmas to roll around. I'll just hand it over. Do you sign each painting? Can we see your signature? Typically, if I was going to sign a painting, guys, I'll sign the back. I like the painting itself to be the signature. I know that sounds cheesy, but I think the style's so in your face, hard to miss, that you sort of only need a signature to confirm whose it is. So I think if I was going to sign, I do it down the bottom right hand corner. I do an S. Gower. So but that's only sometimes. How many layers do you put into paintings typically? It can vary. It can vary heavily. So we might put 7 to 10 layers into a painting. 7 to 10 layers across 7 to 10 hours. That's a healthy place to get a painting to. Just adding in some finer bits of black detail. It's not perfect black, it's more like a brown, not a brown, a transparent grey. Am I Jewish? No, I'm not, Gabe.
Let me know when you're done.
I'm not. I'm Kiwi. Just a regular old bona fide Kiwi. What's the scene today? Where's the scene today? This is close to the house, so I thought rather than risk it like we do at the beach with the Wi-Fi cutting out, etc., I would just find a little garden patch close to the house and make it work. So here we are. Here we are. What does a typical day look like for me, Jason? Chops and changes. So today's going to be. I've missed a few calls, so there could be something going on today, but we'll see. It's a mixture of laptop work and I still do 2 days at another job, and driving around, painting, discussing conditions with people. Those are some loud shorts. They are indeed, Matt. We've gone for a baby blue outfit today. That's where I'm at. A little more detail to the bride's face. A little more detail on his face too. Paint stroke by paint stroke, slowly put it together. There we go. Outside of New Zealand, where's my favourite place to visit? Are your parents artists who introduced you to painting? I've been painting ever since I was a little kid. My parents are not artists. My favourite place outside of New Zealand would be probably Indonesia. I like Indonesia. Indonesia's wholesome. And outside of New Zealand was, oh, there we go. Alright guys, I'm just going to whip off these gumboots. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm just going to go to Lee Buffern. watch out, you better not cry. Thanks, Jesse. I bet the wind and trees sound so peaceful in person. Yeah, it's a good little place here. It's a good little spot. How do I manage my time? Typically, my technique is because commissions need time to dry, it's hard to over-focus on one commission because you need to constantly keep changing commissions while the other one dries. So it's good to have a few on the go. It's good to have a few on the go. Good down. You better watch out. You better not cry. Better than don't isn't telling you why. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. It's time. Everybody agrees. Seb, I ran into you at your work. I'm an Aussie. G'day, Kelvin. That must have been while I was at Cobb & Co the other night, I reckon. We're a little short-staffed at the restaurant, so my 2 laptop days have been changed into restaurant days. So you might catch me pulling a Cobb traffic light every now and again, which is pretty fun. Pretty fun. Love people. Oh, hey, thanks, G83722. That's a pretty nice thing to say. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. What restaurant is it? I can't help but notice the big. Yeah, no, this one's not actually that. That's about ½ an inch. That's what we're working with here. We might go down a size, depending on how we go along. But right now, this one's working just fine. The restaurant is Cobb & Co. Cobb & Co. So I'm the old ops manager for Cobb & Co. The franchise. And I was looking to step back before COVID hit. And once COVID hit, it really shook things up. I had to really double down and work far more hours than I planned for. But now that the world's getting back to some normality, I can start getting back to what I like to do. But, at the moment, with a few staff shortages, I'm getting roped back into the local restaurant, which is pretty fun. Gets me out and about, guys. And Shelby, actually the other night, Shelby was there as well. She was in the bar smashing margaritas, so that's fun. I stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the... I stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. Ah, so it is. Look at me learning the lyrics. You want a little secret? I'm gonna forget. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. Hey, so we got a dash for a bit. Fantastic. Look after yourself, Victoria. And I wish you all the best. Look after yourself. Have a lovely day wherever you are. Does the red in her, on her and forearm wrist look okay? Let me step back and have a look-see. Yeah, I reckon. There will be probably a slice of orange that goes in here, but not just yet. We're not going to force anything on the painting, guys. It'll come together on its own pace. It's not raining here. It's not raining. It's raining, man. Hallelujah, it's raining, man. Amen. Thanks, IW. You manage the restaurant, did I hear that right? No, I used to be the ops manager, so Cobb & Co has got a bunch of restaurants, and I was in charge of all the things like fire evacuation plans, health and safety, making sure all the restaurants are up to date, sometimes recruitment, sometimes training, sometimes onboarding, sometimes offboarding. All the things, guys. Marketing, all the things. But now, we're back to normality, so I can step back. So I still do 2 days. And like I was saying, the restaurant locally here is a little short on people, so that's where I end up. Pretty fun time. He's looking at the original picture. Yes. Right here on this stick. How do you get to be the opera? I am happy to just painting, Jason. This is what I do, but it's family business, and so of course I'll help out. Of course. And now that the family business has got far more stable, I can start doing more for me, which is getting back to what I studied, what I love, all the good things. Yes, it's the photo I'm painting, sorry guys. Thanks, David. I've got that part on lock. What's our time at? 2:30. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. I suppose it would be. It's me. Hi. slowly putting it together. One paint stroke at a time. Hello, NJ Strong. Welcome. The therapy we all need. Thank you. I hope that you enjoy yourself, guys. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. Hello, good night, J. Roy, and what we got here? Hi from Japan. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you guys here. I think I'm gonna add a bit more green in a moment. Just a little bit more permanent sap green. Thanks, guys. Middle of the night, it should be in Sweden. That sounds about right. How many paint publication? I missed that there. Production at the same time. At the moment, we've got 5 on the go, with about 5 passion projects. Passion projects are just artwork that I'm making for me. With 5 on the go, and and. If you want to have your project sorted as well, or if you want to consider a commission, you can reach out to me via the Instagram page or via the website. They're all there in my bio. Instagram, YouTube, and website. All there. All there. You can reach out to me wherever you like. No place is the wrong place. And it's not me and my bride. It's a lovely lady down in Christchurch with her husband. So we're just making that picture come to life. How long does it take to complete that? How long does it take to complete a piece like this? Anywhere between 7 to 15 hours. So we're on about 12 hours at the moment. There's lots of layers. It's very, very thick. It builds up piece by piece. Hello from Toronto. Hello, Bella. Why the boots? Because I couldn't be bothered putting on sneakers, and they're quite good in terms of air. So since the tops are open, I don't have to wear socks, and I can just air them out easily. Welcome to New Zealand. Can you paint righty or just lefty? Just lefty. But yeah, we're not very ambidextrous when it comes to painting. We're all left-hand. Not 100% perfect, guys, because I'm about to dash off to refill this water bottle. I'm not going to leave you just yet, but I do need to get some more water because it's hot out and we have to stay hydrated. That's important. Thanks. Thank you very much. Up close, it's very messy. In fact, before I go, I will show you up close. So, from your point of view, you'll see a picture, and if I move this a little bit more over here, the light should hit it a bit differently. You'll see husband and wife quite clearly, but if we come closer to it, this is where it's going to get fun. You're going to see how messy it is up close. So it's very messy. Very messy. All the details, the paint wants to be pretending it's wants to be paint, and it wants to make a big, raw, crafty sort of a mess. It doesn't want to try and be clean and proper up close. It wants to have that messiness nature to it. So that way when you're up close, the things in the painting aren't being too standoffish in the environment you put it in, and if you're well back from it, the picture will come together. Yeah, Impressionism basically. You haven't missed the live yet, Cheryl. We're still dabbling away on it. So I've got another 30 minutes to an hour. Before I do that, I need to get some water. But good to see you today, Cheryl. I hope you're looking after yourself. But that's how what works is stand back and look at it. Yeah, so messy up close, stand back, picture comes together. That's part of the fun. Cool. Give me one moment, guys. We'll get this refilled and then I'll come on back for you. Be back in maybe like 1 minute. 1 minute. Coming out, so you better get this party started. Coming out, da 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 da. Everybody's talking, da 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 da. Thank you, Pet Design. Sorry if I missed anyone's comments there. It's a lovely lady down the street with her husband. Not down the street, she's from Christchurch, but yeah, I mean, she may as well be down the street. Even in messy things there's some beauty. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. Do you see them updates on the progress? Yes, so I'll touch base, and depending on the person, some people don't want to see the progress until it's finished. I totally get that. And other people want to hear bits and pieces as the process goes along. And obviously we're respectful to both. Go. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. Sorry, I missed a few comments there, guys. What are you drinking? I'm drinking soda water. That's what's going on here. What funky bird is that in the background? I think that's a tui, guys, but I'd just be guessing. Really hard to tell sometimes. I wouldn't want to see it until it's done, but that's just me. I understand everyone is different. Yeah, so you're not wrong there. Because some people actually get nervous around certain features or parts of it and start overthinking certain areas, when actually the painting's going to pull itself into line regardless. And you can get yourself nervous and second guess yourself, or think, oh, that colour's not exactly what I wanted. So you can save yourself all that stress by just completely avoiding it until it's finished. And I get that. Thanks, guys. Heading out. Hetty, thanks for popping in. Enjoy your lovely day. Now that I'm not sure if the sun's out in Rotorua, but now that the sun's out in Tauranga anyway, or mostly out. We've still got wind everywhere, but we're navigating. We're navigating. I want to start a new hobby now. Try to guess. Is it painting? Here's my wild guess. Woohoo! In comes the wind. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. Yes, sir! Fantastic. Hope you have an amazing time on your painting journey. And remember, you don't always just get better and better and better at it. Sometimes you head backwards. Sometimes that's healthy. Head backwards to go forwards, baby. No, it's not said. It seems the storm is coming. Is your live close? Yeah. We'll play it by ear, but yeah, it sounds like there's something approaching. Gotta run, but loved catching you paint and can't wait to see this finished. They'll love it. Thank you so much, Lauren. I really appreciate it. And wherever you're heading off to, all the best. We'll miss you here on this little stream coming from New Zealand. Take that camera right. Take that camera right into the painting. I don't think you're painting. Well, you can look at this big messy paint palette. But at the end of the day, there wouldn't be a whole lot. In fact, you think I'm just standing in front of a painting pretending to put paint on it? That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Best way to discover whether I'm painting or not is go to YouTube. And on YouTube, you'll see these from start to finish. And then what you can do is you can click on the start and see what the painting looks like, and the end. And see what the painting looks like. But past that, can't really help. Always in the mirror. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the lovely words. If you want to connect more, you can do so via Instagram in the bio, or you can get in touch via the website. Things everywhere. All right, we have run out of paint by the looks of it, team. Hey Austin, how you doing? So I need to go wash some of these plates, wash these brushes. I need to let this dry for a little bit. So did you start with a horizontal point, or did you said go to YouTube? I'm not quite sure what the question is, but yeah. Anyway, this is where we got to with this. I'm going to wash the brushes. After I've washed the brushes, cleaned off the palettes, put new paint on it, and brought out the fresh canvas, I will be back. But for now, this is as far as I can take you. You've been busy. It hasn't been a while to jump on. I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, so I disappeared for a while, hay fever. Really shook things up, but now I'm pretty much back. And I'm outside today, and the hay fever's not blowing me over, so that's wholesome and fun. Not quite, David, but good point. We'll be doing, using the same plates, but for paint again. Good morning, Nicole. Thanks, Nicole. All right, guys. Apart from that, have an amazing day, and I will see you later on today or tomorrow morning. Who knows? I'm very excited. Have an amazing time, guys. Catch you later. Bye.